What is up, budget billers? Today we have some super great news to share with you. For starters, I have a list of 20 different states that are offering a one-time rebate or a one-time tax credit. These are as much as $1,500, and these could affect millions of Americans. In addition, we have some good news in regards to the war in Ukraine. It sounds like President Biden is finally ready to have a discussion with Russia on how they can end the war peacefully. And last but not least, a new bill was passed yesterday and headed to President Biden's desk for his signature. The deadline was approaching to pass this bill that could have a negative impact on millions of people. Hopefully, President Biden can sign this bill sometime today. But in the meantime, hey, you already know what to do. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Starting off with a little bit of good news, gas prices are still going down. And as of right now, guys, gas prices are now cheaper than they were before the Russia invaded Ukraine war. Yes, guys, it says right here that the average cost for a gallon of gasoline in the United States has dropped below the price it was before Russia invaded Ukraine. Earlier this year, I believe that was back in February. Now, it is the first time since February that gas prices cost less than $3.50 per gallon of gas, a significant decrease from record prices that we saw in the summer. A gallon of regular gas costs about $3.47 nationally on average, according to AAA. That's below the $3.54 average that we saw back on February the 24th of this year, the day before Russia invasion began and gas prices soared to record numbers. Again, prices at the pumps have dropped 12 cents since last week and 29 cents over the last month or so, according to some data from AAA. And then back in June, the average cost for a gallon of gas eclipsed the $5 mark for the first time in history. So again, guys, this is some very good news, some positive news, and this is pretty much going to affect millions of Americans out there because a lot of us were complaining and going crazy during the summertime because gas prices in some areas reached as much as $7 and $8. You know, California. But again, guys, it's good to see that the gas prices have finally come back down and reaching some levels that we actually saw before the invasion of Ukraine. So that is some very good news, guys, and hopefully the gas prices continue to keep coming down, especially if that war ever ends. But anyways, guys, moving on. Hey, the United States Children's Hospital is saying that they are overwhelmed by the RSV cases that are going on right now. It says that nurses have no wiggle room in the ICUs amid the surge of respiratory illnesses. Now, in a statement, it says that it feels like this endless, a large volume influx that keeps coming through our emergency department or phone calls from outside hospitals who are also bursting at the seams. In intensive care unit, ICU nurse at a Los Angeles Children's Hospital said of a recent surge of RSV cases. Now, if you guys don't know, RSV or respiratory syncytial virus, I know I said that wrong, but it is a common virus that spreads mainly through direct contact or coughing. It usually causes mild symptoms, but it can be very dangerous for young children and elderly people. Across the United States, children's hospitals are seeing a surge of RSV cases that are severely straining their capacity. As in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, some hospitals are building overflow tents to house more beds. So again, I told you about this on a previous video, and I'll just say it again. You definitely want to be mindful of your children. I believe that RSV pretty much affects our children between the ages of 1 and 4 years old, as well as affecting our elderly individuals. So those are the ones you definitely want to be mindful of. And if you pretty much have some of these particular symptoms, you definitely want to get this checked out very soon, guys, because it can lead to more deadly situations, and we definitely don't want that to happen to our friends or our loved ones. So be mindful of that, guys, and make sure you take them to the doctor. Moving on. Hey, in regards to the war on Ukraine from Russia, yes, we have new data that had just been released, guys. It says as many as 13,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed in this war. Yes, guys, the latest figures follow a lightning counteroffensive in Ukraine's northeast and south that won back large tracts of their territory. As many as 13,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed in the battlefield since Russia invaded them back in February of this year. Now, so far, guys, it says in a statement that we have official figures from the general staff, we have official figures from the top command, and they amount to between 10,000 and 12,500 to 13,000 individuals that have been killed in this unprovoked war. And yes, it said in another statement that we are open in talking about the number of dead individuals, as well as saying that more soldiers had been wounded that had actually died as well. So the number of military casualties has not been confirmed by Ukrainians' armed forces, and added that Zelensky would make the official data public when the right moment comes around. So guys, again, they're saying that this is the data that we have so far, but they have yet to finalize this particular data to make it official, if you will, guys. But I mean, those numbers are staggering. I'm curious to know exactly how many of Russia's military has actually been killed in this war as well. But anyways, guys, we don't know that information, but we did hear from President Zelensky of Ukraine, in which he says that Ukraine is now preparing for a powerful countermeasure against Russia. It says right here that President Zelensky said on Wednesday that Ukraine is preparing a powerful countermeasure against Russian forces and planning new solutions to deal with the continued attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. Said in a statement that, look, we are analyzing the intentions of the occupiers and are preparing a countermeasure, an even more powerful countermeasure than we've had thus far, Zelensky said in his most recent nightly address to the Ukrainian people. Now, though the president didn't go into detail on what the countermeasure would look like, he said that Kyiv is focused on issues in Donetsk, as well as those other particular places and regions right there, as well as Crimea and other frontline areas. Now, Ukraine mounted a successful counteroffensive against Russia earlier this year, delivering some battlefield setbacks to Moscow's forces and pushes occupiers back to the border in some particular areas. And now that the country is weathering an onslaught of Russian missile attacks and dealing with a battered power system, we consider the issue of providing for the military and supplying new equipment and ammunition. I separately held a meeting on energy and communication issues. We are preparing new solutions. We are also preparing new solutions to prevent any opportunity for Russia to manipulate the internal life of Ukraine. We will provide details in due time. That is from President Zelensky. So we don't know what this is going to necessarily occur, but we do know he has a plan in place and he is planning on taking action very, very soon. I will keep you guys posted. But in regard to the Ukrainians right now, because Russia continues to send these missiles to try to mess up their infrastructure system, yes, we did hear from the mayor in which he is warning that Kyiv could be without heat all winter long. And they are requesting that Biden and Russia open their communication so that they can talk about this and find out whether or not they want to end this war. And as a result, guys, we did hear from President Biden on Thursday, in which he said that he is open to talk with Vladimir Putin about ending the Ukrainian war, as the United States as well as France show their unitedness in this particular effort. Yes, it says right here that President Joe Biden said on Thursday that he's open to talking with Russian President Vladimir Putin, even if he and French President Emmanuel Macron underscore their outrage over Moscow's atrocities in its war against Ukraine. At the White House news conference, Biden and Macron emphasized their solidarity against Putin's war on Ukraine and vowed that they would continue to stand with other NATO allies in opposition to the war. He said in a statement that, look, we're going to stand together against brutality and will continue the strong support for the Ukrainian people. Biden said that he has no immediate plans to contact Vladimir Putin, but that he is prepared to meet with the Russian leaders if he has decided he's looking for a way to end the war. He hasn't done so as of yet, but it's good to know that he has put this on the table. So he is just waiting for Russia to respond. So hopefully, guys, they can open the doors to have this particular discussion, and hopefully we can end this war before the end of this year. Who would have thought that this war would go on for more than 10 months now? And now that we're ending the year and headed to Christmas season, guys, this war is continuously going on, and the Russians are continuously sending missiles over to Ukraine, in which they are trying to ruin everything that they have worked for many, many years, guys. But like I said, 13,000 soldiers have been killed that we know of thus far. So I do want to ask for your participation in this, and hopefully that you will continue to keep all of those individuals and their families in your prayers during the meantime, guys. 13,000 soldiers. That's just crazy, guys. What do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comment section, guys. And like I said, continue to send up prayers for these particular individuals. But moving on, guys, hey, the Senate just approved of the bill in regards to the railroad strike that was about to happen. We did hear earlier this week where the House approved of the bill, and then they sent it over to the Senate. And we did hear late on Thursday that the Senate was approving of this bill as well, that is going to enforce railroad labor agreement before the strike deadline, which now they are able to send this bill to President Biden's desk for his signature. Now, I will say, prior to the Senate approving of this particular deal, this is shocking to see, but the Senate actually rejected the proposal to give the railroad workers 7 days of paid sick leave. I mean, come on now. Come on, Congress. You've got to do better than this. What type of workers in this country don't deserve to have sick paid leave? I mean, do you guys agree with me? Am I just the only one? But I mean, I work for corporate America as well, as I receive paid sick leave. So why shouldn't these individuals receive the same thing as well, guys? I mean, they probably work harder than I do. But anyways, guys, the good news is that the Senate has approved this bill, so we don't necessarily have to worry about them going to strike, because the deadline was approaching on December the 9th, but it does look like Congress has approved of a potential bill, and now they are ready to send it to President Biden's desk for his signature. So this is some definitely positive news, guys. And this, you might not know this, guys, but this is going to affect millions of Americans, guys, because if that strike was to happen, we thought the inflation earlier this year was bad. Dude, it would have gotten even worse. So again, guys, like I said, this is some huge news. They approved of the bill, and now hopefully they can sign this bill into law before the end of this weekend, guys. So that is going to really benefit silently the American people. So hopefully, guys, you do approve of Congress doing their job and signing this bill. But anyways, guys, last but not least, we do have some stimulus update information for you in regards to some inflation relief checks. And yes, guys, I have a list of at least 20 different states that are offering one-time rebates or either one-time tax credits. And these could be up in the range of $1,500. Again, guys, I'm going to read all of these to you right here from this particular article. So be mindful of it. I might go a little bit fast, but you can always hit the rewind button, as well as I will always include a link to this article down below in the description so that you can read it for yourself. But again, guys, it says that Americans are experiencing the worst bout of inflation in 4 decades. In October, rates came down to 7.6% from a June high of 9.1%. The annual core inflation rate currently sits at around 6.3%, according to the U.S. Labor Department, which they recently reported this data. Now, with the first state that we have on the list is the state of California. We have seen them offer many stimulus checks, guys, and tax rebates and tax credits and all sorts of things, guys, because they were reported to have a huge budget surplus, and they are trying to give it to the American people in California. And yes, guys, right now on the table, we have what's called the California's Middle Class Tax Refund. And yes, in the state of California, so far about half of those who qualify for this have already received their money, and this particular money is in the form of up to $1,050. Now, it does depend on the personal income as well as your filing status, as well as how many dependents you have living in your home, but they're saying on average people in California are going to be receiving around $544. Moving on, guys, in the state of Colorado, taxpayers can get a rebate between $750 for single individuals as well as $1,500 for joint filers. The next state that we have on the list is Delaware, and they have a program called the 2022 Delaware Relief Rebate Program, which allow for a one-time payment of $300 per adult, and for couples getting around $600. Now, according to the state, relief is intended to promote the general welfare of Delawareans emerging from COVID-19 pandemic and facing higher prices at the grocery stores as well as the gas pumps. And then the next state that we have on the list is the state of Georgia, which to remind you guys that you need to go out and vote because that runoff is going to be happening the 1st of next week. But anyways, guys, Georgia, the Department of Revenue announced a refund of income taxes from 2020 due to the state's experiencing a revenue surplus. Single filers and married individuals who file separately could receive a maximum benefit of around $250. Head of households could receive around $375, and married couples who file jointly could receive a maximum of around $500. And then we have the state of Hawaii. They recently passed legislation that provides a refund for resident taxpayers who filed their 2021 tax returns before December the 31st. The amount of the refund is around $100 to $300 per exemption, depending on the taxpayer's federal adjusted gross income as well as your filing status. And then we have the state of Idaho is offering $75 to every taxpayer and every dependent, or either 12% of the taxpayer's state income tax liability. So it depends on which one is greater in the state of Idaho. And then we have Illinois, which passed a $1.83 billion relief package that includes various tax rebates. These tax rebates include $50 per individual as well as $100 for a child up to 3 children, as well as a maximum rebate of up to $400. Credits may be claimed for up to 3 years after the original tax filing deadline. As well as the state of Indiana, you should receive an automatic taxpayer refund if you file your tax return for the 2020 tax season with a postmark date of January the 3rd of this year. The refund includes a $125 payment to every taxpayer regardless of your income in May, and another $200 later on in the year. And then we have the state of Maine. They have a rebate, and this is for everyone making less than $100,000 or less than $200,000 for married couples. And yes, this is going to be a one-time payment of $850, or for married couples, it could be around $1,700. Again, we also have the state of Massachusetts. They will receive a credit in the form of a refund that is approximately around 14% of the 2021 personal income tax liability. And an example, a person who made $50,000 last year and paid the state back $2,500 could get about $350 back in return. And then we have New Jersey. They have some rebates based on home ownership, or either you're renting your home. Homeowners making up to $150,000 will receive $1,500 rebates on their property taxes, while those earning between $150,000 and $250,000 will receive $1,000. And then renters who earn up to $150,000 will receive a $450 check. And then we have New Mexico. They issued a rebate to all taxpayers, $500 for individual filers and $1,000 for joint filers. And then head of households and surviving spouses will also receive one of these particular rebate checks as well. And then we have the state of New York. About 3 million New Yorkers, state homeowners, started receiving property tax rebates of up to $1,050. New York City households got an average of around $425. Also, residents who are earning below $75,000 are expected to receive an average of around $1,050. And then for Oregon, households received a one-time assistance payment of $600. Residents will automatically receive this payment by direct deposit or by a check in the mail. Pennsylvania issued a one-time bonus rebate of up to $975 for people with disabilities as well as older homeowners and renters. South Carolina Department of Revenue issued a one-time rebate of up to $800 to eligible taxpayers. And then Virginia also approved of a one-time rebate of $250 for single filers and $500 for couples for those who filed their taxes by November the 1st. Now again, some of these states are offering rebates to families with children. Florida, Illinois, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Minnesota, Pennsylvania are among 12 states distributing child tax credits. Again, guys, the tax credits vary in amount per state and are intended to provide financial relief for low-income parents and their children. So again, guys, like I said, these are the 20 states that we just talked about that are offering some form of a one-time rebate or a tax credit, as well as these other states that are also distributing child tax credits. So again, guys, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. But feel free to check out some of the items down below. That is some great ways for you to earn some free money, some free cash, as well as some free stocks. Yes, it is true. You can sign up for Webull and deposit $1, and they're going to give you 12 free stocks, which could be worth up to $3,000. Again, those links will be down below. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.